Hey, this is Jay Kumar, the Bass Blaster, and this is your Seafoam Top 5 of the Week in Bass Fishing. Number 1. Bassmaster rookie Joey Cifuentes won his second Bassmaster Elite Series trophy of the season.
The cowboy, Joey Cifuentes!
Typically, rookies on tour get beaten up or eaten up, but this is how Joey's season has been going. He won the second tournament of the season on Lake Seminole, which is on the Florida-Georgia border. That was a largemouth tournament, and last weekend he won a smallmouth tournament on Lake St. Clair, Michigan. Dang, you think this guy can catch him? The only things in common about both wins, other than Joey, was drop shotting with forward-facing sonar. Somehow he made that work on Seminole, and of course that's a well-known deal for catching smallmouths in smallmouth country. For this win, Joey drop-shotted a Berkley MaxScent flatworm in the brown back color, which we'll talk about a little more in a minute. With 2 wins and all those Benjamins, I asked Joey if he now considers himself a rhinestone cowboy, and he said, absolutely, check him out.
Like a rhinestone cowboy.
Can't wait to see if he wears that at the 24 Classic. Number 2. Right now, Finesse Techniques and Berkley MaxScent are dominating. As I just said, Joey Cifuentes won at St. Clair with a Berkley MaxScent flatworm in the brown back color, even though he said his bigger smallmouths were eating yellow perch. And that's what Jordan Lee said his big smallmouths were eating, yellow perch, when he won at St. Clair, the Major League Fishing Bass Pro Tour event there a couple weeks ago. As it happens, Jordan also fished a couple of Berkley MaxScent soft plastic baits. One was the flat-nosed jerk shad, which is a little bigger to match those bigger yellow perch. And one was the Berkley MaxScent Lil General, a little Ned rig bait. Now, if you're thinking, duh, smallmouths love that MaxScent stuff, well, of course you're right, but how about the AAA level MLF Invitational on the Upper Mississippi River last weekend? Wisconsin's Matt Steffen won it with mostly largemouths that he caught wacky rigging an unweighted Berkley MaxScent General stickworm. Now you might remember last year we ran down the top 10 tournament baits of all time, and a lot of people were wondering why baits like the Senko, or basically more finesse techniques, didn't make the list yet. Well, like I said, those stats don't lie, but we're going to take a look 5 years down the road, and I bet that list looks a lot different. It'll probably be lighter. Number 3. Now, finesse techniques are huge in Japan because the bass fishing is kind of tough there, and because of that, scents are huge there as well. One guy on the Bassmaster Elite Series known for using scents for smallmouths is Japan's Taku Ito. In just his second year on the Elites, he won at the St. Lawrence River, and he showed the world that he caught his smallmouths with baits soaked in this freshwater shrimp juice that made catching smallmouths borderline easy, he said. Well, last weekend, Taku finished 3rd at St. Clair, and he revealed his new scent combo. Soaking his baits in Nori's aging bass liquid for months, and then in the boat, putting on this Nori's bite powder, shaking it up like he's getting some crappie fillets ready for hot peanut oil. He told me that the Nori's bite powder actually doesn't come off when it hits the water. It immediately turns into this soft, strong, thin layer. Now, he believes that all the fishing pressure in a big tournament, especially the last couple days, spooks the fish, and that scent is a way to overcome that hesitancy to bite, especially for those big fish. Either way, we can't doubt him, man. He's got the juice.
I got the juice now. I got the juice now.
Number 4.
I'm looking for someone.
Looking? Found someone you have, I would say.
Right.
Maybe Luke was looking for a fishing tip, and would it have been cool if Yoda sold it to him? Is selling fishing information okay? Well, I heard about this new website called fishtips.com, and I spoke with the co-founder, Austin Neary, who is a North Carolina bass fisherman, a bass fishing guide as well, and he also owns a tackle store. Now, apparently his site has stirred the pot a little bit in bass fishing, which I get because it sounds a little weird. Paying for fishing information?
That's where the fish are.
I don't need any tips, thank you.
Now, for big-time tournament fishermen, buying information, getting information isn't just against the rules, it's no bueno. But for time-crunched individuals like me and maybe you, maybe it's not such a bad idea. I mean, everybody tries to do it already, scouring the internet and wasting all that time just to get one little nugget that you might or might not even use. Would you pay a full-time or even part-time fishing guide for a fishing tip for where you're going or when you're fishing that may or may not include a waypoint, just to help you have a better day on the water? That's a question each one of us would have to answer for ourselves, of course. Anyhow, the platform sounds solid. They vet their experts before they allow them to post stuff on the platform, and they have algorithms and other back-end stuff to prevent people from just getting a tip from somebody and reposting it as their own. Has the time come for this deal? If it's done right, we'll see what happens, man. Number 5. Sometimes being out there, even with forward-facing sonar, feels like you're in a knife fight with an invisible man. Okay, maybe not exactly, but no sonar we have right now will tell you exactly what kind of fish are down there and exactly what the bottom is like. Which is why guys are using those AquaView underwater cameras more and more now. I had a chance to talk with Bassmaster Elite Pro Brian New from South Carolina about how he uses them for largemouths, and here's what he says.
Whatever the target is, whether it's, you know, whether you're calling the target a fish or the target structure, you can see what it is, how it sets up. Maybe I fished this tree, it's always been good, but I get hung up on it. You know, I go over there, I drop it down. Oh, I realize the tree's laying like this instead of like this, so I can come at it at a different angle instead of bringing my crankbait or my jig, whatever it is I'm fishing, bringing it into the limbs where it's going to get hung up in the V a lot more. I can fish it the opposite way. But with the AquaView, you can drop, oh, that's a sand bottom. Well, that's a gravel bottom. Well, that's just a mud bottom. That's the applications that I really like to use it for in the South.
Some folks think this is cheating or not cool or whatever, but man, if your sonar or your jig or whatever could tell you exactly what those fish were and exactly what that bottom type was, wouldn't you want to know? I would. At some point soon, it might be like... That's all I got for you this week. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Seafoam. Go to BassBlaster.com or .rocks to sign up for the juice-filled Bass Blaster email. See you next week. God bless you.